Security, whether we like it or not, is something that all of us have got to take seriously nowadays. Like for these people here visiting the synagogue in the centre of Berlin, and for other people, Jewish people, just walking around, the possibility of a hate crime is a real threat. Today, an expert conference has been convened here in Berlin to try and confront and work out solutions to what is perceived as a rise in anti-Semitic types of violence, verbal and physical abuse against Jewish communities, not just here in Germany, but all over the world. The conference is being organised by the OSCE, the Organisation for Security and Cooperation in Europe, whose participating states include countries across Europe, North America, and the former Soviet Union. Of particular concern is the emergence of far-right parties within the OSCE region. One item on the agenda is people using the internet to spread hateful messages.
There's two groups. You have hardcore racists and anti-Semites. The only way to deal with them is to get them prosecuted. And that is not because it will change their thinking, but it gives a signal from society that is not okay to do that. But then a much larger group is a group of people that just don't know. You know, they're ignoramus. And those people, and it's a lot with youth, unfortunately, because teachers are under pressure, so it's like the electronic nanny, the internet, and so if they have to write a paper on something, they just Google it and find all kinds of trash. And there's nobody out there giving them, although I hate the expression, correct information. So we're working on that on one hand, and on the other hand we try and get stuff removed, although once it's on the internet it always pops up somewhere. But we had in some cases big success also with the network, where we chased somebody, you know, from country to country to country, and then they went to Germany and then they got arrested. So that was kind of cool.
One of the problems with chasing down anti-Semitism is that the sources of it vary, as does the way it is documented in different countries.
The standards are so different, the level of development is so different. You see, for example, a lot of incidents in the United States, a lot of anti-Semitic incidents in the United States, but it doesn't mean that the Jewish community overall is not protected there. A major concern for Europe is anti-gay violence and violence against Roma citizens is hugely under-recorded and under-reported. But again, anti-Semitism, anti-Semitic violence is also very relevant, and that's what we're doing here today, is discussing ways of protecting the Jewish communities in Europe, many of whom are considering leaving, quite frankly. So their concerns must be addressed.
Just two examples of threats on a larger political level in Europe are the upsurge in far-right parties in countries like Hungary, where the Jobbik party has gained 43 seats in parliament, and in Greece, where the Golden Dawn party, which has an anti-Semitic and violently anti-immigrant stance, has taken advantage of the economic crisis to lure supporters by distributing food. But another problem for Europe is attacks on Jews from a minority within Muslim communities. Holding discussions between Jewish and Muslim groups would seem to be a likely solution.
It's not an easy discussion because the Muslim community is not well organized, and there aren't many structures for the Jewish community, which is much better organized, to relate with. There aren't counterparts. There's also the difficulty that while there are sadly attacks by individual Muslims who certainly don't represent the community on Jews, there's certainly not the reverse problem, and we hope there won't be the reverse problem.
That there could be anti-Semitic attacks in Berlin, which of all cities in Europe might be considered to be one of the most relaxed and tolerant places to live, is perhaps a bit surprising. But violent anti-Semitic incidents still happen in the German capital. Rabbi Daniel Alter was attacked and had his cheekbone broken by young Arab men in Berlin last year, apparently for wearing a kippah.
On a larger political level, I think it's our political goal can only be to achieve that the vast majority of German society, and not only German society, of every democratic society, understands that combating anti-Semitism is not solely for the benefit of the Jewish community, it's for the benefit of every democratic civil society.
Whatever the results of the OSCE conference, it seems that we're still quite a long way from making Berlin and Germany, and of course the other 57 participating countries in the OSCE agreement, safe places for minorities and in particular for Jewish communities. Part of the problem is, of course, that it's very difficult to eradicate political hatred and ignorance across the board of society. This is Patrick Evans for JN1 outside the Jewish synagogue in Berlin.